American, but also the government as well.
Let's get this out of money talk, because this isn't CNBC.
Thank you, Jesus. Where's Maria?
Yeah. Let's bring this down to everybody's level of understanding. What is happening here is the government is blaming us and saying that we won't live within our means as a society, but they're just promising us this stuff and telling us, no, first, during the Bush years, they don't have to worry about the debt. Yes, you do. Now they're saying we should worry about the debt, but oh no, we're not even close. I look at the Drudge Report. I look at the websites, the financial. I read Bloomberg. I read the Financial Times. You can't tell me there isn't signal after signal after signal. Last I saw was from China on the healthcare. Japan said we used to be a country of innovators. Now we're just a protection. I mean, how come it's only you saying these things?
Well, I'm not beholden to an investment banking firm that has the honored position of distributing government paper. So, and in terms that everybody can understand, when we look at the Goldman Sachs's and the J.P. Morgans that were the recipient of so much financial love, they distribute government paper. They distribute the debt to the planet. So, of course, we had to keep those interests in check. We've got serious problems. I mean, the debt is a problem. It doesn't seem to be a problem to Bernanke. I mean, notice his comments yesterday that he's happy to see the dollar weak, and they're not all that concerned. The problem as we see it is that there are huge disparities in the cost of production for American goods versus the cost of production in a Bangladesh or an India or Vietnam. These people make money. They get paid what? Some of them 70 cents, $1 a day, right. 20 cents an hour. I mean, incredible wages. These are our servants, really, that are just living outside of the country. Yet we also domestically have to employ people to produce things, because not everybody can appear on the Glenn Beck show. I mean, people in Ohio and Michigan actually need to do something. A lot of it involves labor.
Right. But hang on just a second. What everybody is saying now, and this is what global labor is doing, is they're saying that we're going to be able to bring the world up to our standard. No, they're not. They're not. That's not possible. What we are doing right now is we are spending ourselves into oblivion. It is are you familiar with the Cloward-Piven strategy?
No. Sounds great.
No, it doesn't. You got to look this up, because you would understand this. Look up Cloward-Piven, the Cloward-Piven strategy. It's a radical Marxist idea that came out of Columbia University, and I'm telling you, Damon, it's being employed right now. And the idea is, you want to change the culture in America? You want to change the government? You want to overthrow the Constitution? You don't do it with guns. You don't do anything like that. If you want a redistribution of wealth, what you do is you collapse the system, and then it has to restart. Well, that's what's happening. They're overwhelming it.
I know there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and I had the benefit of doing the Alex Jones show last night, and I heard a couple of them, and I'm not disputing that many of them may be actually true, but market forces are likely to take...
You don't need a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but market forces are likely to take us there anyway. The dollar is way too high, and other currencies are way too low. So what you're likely to see is a realignment of currencies. We obviously cannot...
Say this in terms that people understand. A realignment of currencies doesn't mean anything. What it does mean is you're going to live closer to the standard of Mexico than you are of America when they realign the currency.
Yeah, correct. That would be accurate. Our debts are simply too huge. There is no possible way that our labor forces can compete globally on a production cost basis. When if you or I, Glenn, were to come up with a brilliant idea, I've got something Billy Mays might be proud of. Maybe we would elect to make it here, but most people don't. When they come up with those great ideas, they're electing to immediately make those things in the Philippines or Bangladesh or Mexico. That didn't happen in the past. In the past, we at least had a 10, 15, 20-year period where we created employment in this country. As of this moment, if great new technologies come along that innovate society, like the arrival of the railroads, that really create an adoption cycle, an investment cycle, a bull market, and an economic expansion, those things that we're all talking about, they're not likely to land on these shores. The benefits are likely to be made overseas in emerging markets.
Right.
Beyond that, we don't have anything to export. We don't have oil. We're net consumers and net importers of our food. We don't have anything to export. We export promises and debt, and inevitably those two roads shall meet. And with the weakness in the dollar on a daily basis and the breakout in gold, it may be that we're moving towards it now.
America, how does this not make sense to you? I mean, this is the way it would work in your home. How does this not make sense? How is it we're still talking about insane things instead of doing this? Instead of America having the conversation of, look me in the eye. Will you live a tough lifestyle right now? You gotta eventually pay the debt. It's immoral to pass all of this on. Would you pay and live without government freebies? You gotta work. You gotta scratch. It's gonna mean like we live like our grandparents if we do it now. And you know what? There's fine. I will do that if my children still have an America at the end of it. But Damon, correct me if I'm wrong. If we don't get out of this thing will spiral out of control, and it will they'll push it up to a higher power. Well, America's too big to fail. Got to make it into a one-world government. Right?
Well, that's exactly how it would unfold. You said something brilliant a second ago, which was about indulgence and about not facing the truth. We're a society that I believe, for the most part, medicates ourselves. Now, how do we do that? We do that with alcohol. We do it with drugs. We do it with bad television programs, not yours, but programs that dull the senses. We medicate ourselves. We take short-term, impulsive fixes, buying things that we don't need. And we've accumulated so much. How many homes? How many cars? How many bangles of jewelry? I mean, we're choking on it. We're a society that has become a society where literally we stuff the macaroni and cheese in our bodies, and we take out equity lines of credit to suck the fat out of our neck. Okay. This is craziness.
Okay, now listen. I don't know about you. I don't have a problem with wealth. I don't have a problem with some either. Okay, good. Because I just want to make that clear. I don't. No. When you are putting it on a credit card, which is what our country is doing, it becomes insane. I believe that we will be remembered in the history books only one of two ways. This generation and this time period, right now, we are making history. We will either be looked back on as the dumbest people ever to be on the face of the earth, the most clueless, greedy, obscene, stupid people, or we are going to be looked back on as heroes because we decided to do the tough thing and live within our means. And know what that means, gang. It means we're going to have our grandparents' depression nightmares, but they made it, and they were better for it. And if you just want to ignore it, you know what? You're exactly right. We do medicate ourselves all the time. We medicate ourselves, and just as a recovering alcoholic, the media is the enabler. The politicians are the enabler. What they'll do over and over, they'll say, he doesn't have a problem. We don't have a problem. That's not happening. That's an enabler. Get away from the enablers. Start rooting yourself in the truth. And I'm going to tell you something here in just a second. I'm going to look you in the eye this Saturday, and we're going to have a frank conversation, one-on-one, in person at a free event in Florida this Saturday. And I'm going to tell you what the plan is, because I ain't taking this anymore. This is insane to live this way. I'm going to be in the history books, and I think you are too. I'll see you Saturday in Florida at the Villages. I'll give you more information on that coming up. Right back.
The final trouble to burst. Next.